What's going on, everybody? Safar Sadek here. I was looking on YouTube last night and I came across this screenshot here from a pretty popular channel on YouTube known as Off Grid Desert Farming. And this white man is very knowledgeable, and I really admire the work that he does, bringing forth current events and things that are happening. I'm subscribed to him. The men in my inner circle are subscribed to him, as well as other Israelites. You can go on his channel and check that out. And when I saw this screenshot, I was just blown, and I looked at it, and I'm going to read what it says here. This brother has confirmed everything I have been saying over a year. Just found his channel tonight. If you want to know the truth about what is going on, take the time to listen to this man of God. And that says a lot about this man, to recognize that the Israelites are the people. And not only that, but he's willing to not only listen to what this brother is saying, but to invite others to do so, being that, he has a great deal of popularity on YouTube, a hell of a lot more than I have and that I'll ever have. But I mean, I'm telling you all, and that's what this lesson is going to be entitled. They're listening to us now. Hell, they've been listening to us. But here's some proof right here. If you need proof, well, here's some proof right here. And I'm going to go into this tonight. And I'm going to be talking about you white folks primarily in this video, and not in a bad way. So don't think I'm going to be picking on you or any of that. No, I'm going to reveal some stuff that these other Israelites are not going to reveal. And if you take this information to heart, write it down in your journals, what you should be doing and everything, you can literally use this as a pass to get out of this shit that we're in, that's get ready to get really bad here soon, worse than what it is, and make it over into the wilderness with the rest of us that were chosen. All right, let's get over here. All right, y'all, let's get up in here. I got a lot to cover. This is going to be kind of lengthy, but it's very important. They're listening to us now. I'm going to start with John chapter 3, verses 1 through 2. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yeshua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from a higher, for no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except the higher be with him. That's John chapter 3, verses 1 through 2. So we see this famous passage of scripture, and Nicodemus symbolizes the wise among you white people today. And it says that he came to Yeshua by night. What does that mean? How do we fit that in to this particular context? He came to him anonymously, like a lot of you all on my channel, anonymously. And I don't mind you being here. Matter of fact, you're supposed to be here if you're here. If this information and the way I deliver it and everything resonates with you, then it's because you're supposed to be here. You're going to serve a greater purpose than what you're serving now, than what you have served. There's something greater in store for you in here in the near future. Not here, but in the wilderness. And that's the reason why you're here and you're hanging around here. And I'm going to reveal some things to you white folks tonight that these other Israelites are not going to tell you. I keep telling you that, and I've told you that in past videos if you've been following me. Because, I'm not on your side, and I'm not partial to the Israelite side. I'm partial to the word. And whatever the word says, that's what it is. To hell with what I think and what I feel, and to hell with what they think and what they feel, and to hell with what you think and what you feel. Now, having said all that, let's continue. Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 3, verses 4 through 9. You hear me kind of quoting at this a lot, but I'm going into it tonight because it fits right into this context. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, the Israelites, the predominantly Negroes, some of the Latinos, and some of the Native Americans. And some of you white folks are Israelites too. I done told y'all that before. And speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people, Esau, Edom, the other nations, of a strange speech and of an hard language. Because before we learned English and everything, this really applied. But we had to learn English when we came over here. But it still does apply. But to the house of Israel, or the Israelites. Now watch this, verse 6. Not to many people, Esau, Edom, the other nations. And see, it didn't say not to any Edomites or other nations. It said not to many. See, a lot of times when you read these scriptures, you need to slow your ass down and look at what's actually being said. And you wouldn't be overlooking and missing a lot of pertinent information. Like how Good Times Jesus and European white supremacist Catholicism and Christianity teach you to do that. Slow your ass down when you're reading this information. And you'll stop overlooking things that would, just put that last piece of the puzzle in there for you, and you get that eureka, aha moment. Slow down. Not to many people, Esau, Edom, the other nations, of a strange speech and of a hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Now watch this. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. And I'm going to show you why. And a lot of you all are doing it regardless. And I'm going to show you why that too. Now watch this. Verse 7. But the house of Israel, Israelites, will not hearken unto thee. No, they are. For the most part, niggas don't want to hear a damn thing we got to say. There goes people in our so-called families and, people in general, whatever. You try to get them on this knowledge, I don't want to hear all that. But if you're talking about some dumb shit, niggas are, ready to hear that. But the house of Israel, the Israelites, will not hearken unto thee. Why? For they will not hearken unto me. They don't even listen to the Most High, and they don't fear him at all. Niggas ain't scared of the Most High, nah, because he ain't tapping on that ass good yet. But just keep your eyes open in September. You're going to see a whole lot of asses getting tapped on. If you ain't careful, yours going to get tapped on too. For all the house of Israel, the Israelites, are impudent, stupid, and hard-hearted or hard-headed. Yep, I ain't going to even have to deal with that. Verse 8, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant or implement harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verses 4 through 9. And this is the reason why I come off the way I do on these videos. Right here. Right here what I just read, verses 8 and 9 of Ezekiel chapter 3. Because when you're dealing with niggas, you can't, that Joel Osteen approach don't work. No, sir, it don't work. But see, the way I come off on motherfuckers, it's psychological. See, I keep telling y'all, you gotta piss niggas off just to get them, just to interrupt that hard-headed nature that they have long enough to maybe consider what you're saying. But you gotta piss niggas off. I mean, really piss them off. That's just how fucking lost our people are as a whole. Not all, but the majority are like that. So if you ever wonder, why does he talk like that? Why is it this is why right here? Because I didn't used to be this way. I really didn't. I was very shy and, wouldn't hardly say anything to people. Now, the Most High got me barking and snapping and roaring like this. Why? Because hell is upon us. And the heat and the temperature is going to turn up every day from now until we get out of this hellhole. You can expect shit to get worse and worse and worse and worse. We're too far beyond the point of no return. So it is what it is in that regard. So y'all better get ready. Your candy asses ain't gonna last over here. Only the wise among the white people are gonna receive this information and everything and gonna actually have a huge advantage over niggas and everybody else who this was really meant for if you take it to heart and do how you're told in here. Yeah, you still gonna pay for what your foreparents did and all this and all that, but I ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't my fucking problem. That's y'all's problem. Deal with it. But let's see what we got going on here. This is coming out of Luke. I forgot to put the precept in here when I'm putting a lot of this stuff together and everything. I'll figure it out later. It's in the book of Luke, and it's also, I think, in Matthew. I covered this in a prior lesson when I was putting this together, but I'm going to go forth regardless. Y'all fact check this. See, sometimes stuff like this will happen. You Edomites to go back and check, and niggas won't. But we're going to go forth anyway. Let's look at verse 25. For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him, Yeshua, and came and fell at his feet. Well, let me ask you a question. Oh, well, let me read verse 26. Then I'm going to ask you a question about this. Watch this. Verse 26. The woman was a Greek, an Edomite, a Syro-Phoenician by nation, and she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. Question. Why she didn't go to the Syro-Phoenicians, to the other Edomites, the other white folks? Why she didn't go to them? Was Good Times Jesus not sufficient? Was European white supremacist Catholicism and Christianity inadequate to handle this issue? I mean, why did she have to come to the nigga? Well, let's keep going. Verse 27. But Yeshua said unto her, let the children Israelites be first be filled. For it is not meet to take the children's Israelites' bread or take the Israelites' blessing and to cast it unto the dogs. Esau, Edom, the other nations. Now watch this. You white folks that come on here, and if you share this with your friends or whatever, y'all need to be in this spirit right here, because this is the only way you're going to make it out of this shit. You're going to have to be in this spirit that this woman was in right here, like it or not. And she answered and said unto him, yes, Lord. Watch this. Yet the dogs, Esau, Edom, the other nations, under the table, in other words, those of us that submit and recognize that you all are really the Israelites, and that, you know, European white supremacist Catholicism and Christianity is bullshit. Those of us that, you know, acknowledge that and accept that, as well as accept you all as the true Israelites, eat or benefit of the children's crumbs or portions of the Israelites' blessing. And that's true. That's true. So, I mean, this ain't got nothing to do with being racial or prejudice or any of that. What's racial is when we were brought over here, the true Israelites, and we thought that Good Times Jesus and white God and, you know, the whitewashed Bible and all the saints and everybody were white and everything. We didn't have a problem with it. We served with vigor. Shit. A lot of our people still, you know, believe that and serve with vigor. But what's racist is that now that the true knowledge of who the people of the scriptures really are through this gospel has come out, and everybody wants to buck and kick against it. That's racist. Because how you going to come and say, well, it doesn't matter? What if it didn't matter? Then why did he have to be painted white when he wasn't supposed to be painted at all? You see what I'm getting at? Per the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or likenesses of anything that's in the heaven above, that includes the Most High, his Son, the Holy Spirit, the angels, or any other entity that live in that dimension, or anything that is in the earth beneath or that is in the waters under the earth. So if it doesn't matter, then why was he painted white? Now that's racist. Now you think about that. All right. Like I said, y'all look this precept up. Now, I apologize for not putting it in here, but I mean, you know, I got a lot of information to cover on this, so I'm going to keep trucking. Fact check this, because sometimes you might run into situations like this. Don't just accept stuff like this. You go fact check it. Because see, that's how the Catholic and Christian church has deceived you, because you sat right in there and listened to what they said and didn't go and check this stuff out. And that's the reason why y'all don't know what's really going on. And then now that the real gospel is out and everything, now y'all have a problem with it. And it's your fault because you have not been fact checking this information. And that goes for Israel and the white people and everybody else, especially Israel, because that's who primarily this is for. All right, let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 22. For the Jews, Israelites require a sign or proof. And the Greeks, Esau, Edom, you white folks, seek after wisdom. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 22. And that's a problem on the Israelites' part. What the hell are you looking for a sign for? Our people have always been looking for signs, even when the Most High revealed his name to Moses as a higher. He was like, well, what should I'm going to go to these people and everything. I'm going to have to show them something. And so he said, stick your hand in your garment. And he stuck his hand in there and pulled it out. And it said his skin was white as snow. Well, he had to have been black in order for that to have any effect on him. And then he stuck it back in there and pulled it back out, and it was the way it was before. See, Israel's always looking for proof. And what is that significant of? Little to no faith. Plain and simple. But you Edomites, y'all look for wisdom. And I don't have a problem with that, because guess what? That's what I'm looking for. And when I found the true wisdom, thanks to this gospel and everything, I found out that European white supremacists, Catholicism, and Christianity is not of the Most High. It's of Satan and of this world. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't got nothing to do with the people. And it's all bullshit. It's all made up, along with a whole lot of other wisdom and knowledge and everything that's been revealed. I'm afraid Catholicism and Christianity just ain't up to the task. You all are seeing that as your kingdom falls apart around you, and a lot of you all are being affected more and more every day as a result of this. And that has caused a lot of you to reconsider and to come and hunt channels down like this, like that white man at the beginning that I was talking about. He ain't the only one. It's a lot of white folks coming to Israel, the real Israelites, to get these correct interpretations of the scriptures, line upon line, precept upon precept, the way that it's meant to be done, not according to good times Jesus and everything, because people just, more and more people are just not going for that shit no more. All right, fact check this, what I just read here. The one before that. All right, let's look at Psalms chapter 64, verse 6. They, Esau, Edom, you white folks, search out iniquities as well as wisdom. They accomplish a diligent search. In other words, they do extensive research in this shit. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. That's Psalms chapter 64, verse 6. And if you use that in the right manner, like how I'm showing you in this video right here, in this lesson, it can work to your benefit as opposed to everybody else that disregards it, and it's going to work to their detriment, okay? So, yeah, Esau looks into a thing, and y'all, and I got everything up here on the screen. You seeing everything I see, 100% transparency. So all you got to do is just go back and match this up with all these lessons and messages and stuff you got from the churches you've been going to, and then measure that up against what's going on in real life, and then make the comparison. That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do. And you're going to see that one is in tune with what's going on, and the other is a false reality that gives nothing but false hope. All right, let's change the gears here. Let's look at Daniel chapter 1, verses 19 through 20. And the king, in this particular chapter and verses, talk about Nebuchadnezzar of ancient Babylon in Iraq, communed with them, the Israelites, when we were in captivity over there for 70 years for not keeping this land Sabbaths. I've talked about it in the video I did, Jubilee Cycle. And among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. You see that? And don't get it twisted. You got a lot of presidents in these other countries and other nations and stuff like that. They have surveillance capabilities on this internet They're listening to these videos. Some of them are on my channel. I know they are. I know they are. Do I care? No. I don't give a shit, because it's all going to work out as things progress. Verse 20, and in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. So when the wisest among the white folks come on here that make diligent search and going back and reevaluating everything, now since this kingdom is fallen and everything, they don't have no choice but to come to the conclusion, hey, we may not like it, but these motherfuckers here, can't nobody break these scriptures and stuff down like they do. Because where we go to church at and all these other churches and all this other stuff, that shit ain't working no more. That shit went out with 2020 when this pandemic bullshit started. People that are serious about their salvation and serious about their soul and everything, they just not buying into this shit no more. All right, let's look at Luke chapter 16, verses 1 through 9, and went over this many times. I'm going to go over it again in this context. And he said also unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward. In this context, Esau, Edom, the so-called white people. And the same was accused unto him that he had wasted or mismanaged his goods. And he called him Esau, Edom, and said unto him, how is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward, or in this context, custodians over the Israelites. Yep, our 400 years are up, like it or not. I like it, fuck that. Verse 3, then the steward, the wisest among Esau, Edom, white folks, said within himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig to beg, I am ashamed. I am resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, they, the Israelites, may receive me into their houses. Now, what this mindset of white people is what's going to get you out of this hellhole and away from this shit when it finally comes to a complete, utter destruction. Okay? Now, this is what you call formulating a contingency plan. Instead of walking around with your lips poked out talking about we're racist because we're going back into the scriptures and revealing what's true, contrary to what your churches have been teaching all this time, which was partly the reason why you were able to keep us under subjection for 400 years and everything, instead of still trying to cling to that, which no longer serves you, and it's painfully obvious that it's no longer serving you. Instead of going around butthurt like the rest of them, y'all are in here learning, making diligent search and everything. And blessed are they that do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. That goes for some of you white folks. You will be saved out of this. By the end of this lesson, you're going to see. I'm going to show you your plan of salvation out of this. And it ain't nothing that the Catholic Church or the Christian Church ever told you, or no other Israelite. I'm going to cover it, but I got to build this up first. So watch this. He said, okay, in verse 4, I got a contingency plan. I got an idea. So that, when the 400 years up and everything, I'm just not cast away to the side like everybody else is. Fuck that. Verse 5, so he, Esau, Edom, called every one of his lord's debtors, the Israelites, unto him, and said unto the first, how much owest thou unto my lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said unto him, take thy bill and sit down quickly and write 50. Then said he to another, and how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, take thy bill and write 80, which is 80. And the Lord commended the unjust steward Esau, Edom. What? The Lord commended the white people after these 400 years were up in 2019. They came on here and listened to these lessons and took it to heart and started following this information. The Lord is commending you, contrary to what these other Israelites are saying, because he had done wisely For the children, Esau, Edom, the white folks, and other nations of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light, the Israelites. Why? Because the Israelites require a sign. You white folks require wisdom. Do you see the contrast between the two? Our people, y'all see y'all's kingdom going down, and I'm going down in flames, yet the majority of our people see it as an opportunity to try to come up. And I don't understand where they get that from. How the hell, this was y'all's kingdom. Y'all were the stewards over us, the custodians over us for 400 years. Now that you're being kicked out of that custodianship, and you see around you, hell, you might even be experiencing a lot of this shit as a result of everything that's going on. And you feel the pain. You can feel it in the air. You can just, like that song Phil Collins did years ago, you can feel it in the air tonight. I can feel it in the air every night. The shit's about to get really, 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 really crazy in this damn country. So the white folks that see that now are like, you know what, man? Hey, we got to find a life raft. They ain't gonna be like them idiots on the Titanic sitting up there still playing music and everything, and the damn water up to their fucking throat. Now, hell no. As soon as this motherfucker hit the damn iceberg, them damn white folks started heading for the lifeboats, getting the hell off that shit. The ones that had good sense. But I mean, you gotta use shit like that to kind of bring this stuff out, because a lot of these people are all into this racial, emotional, and all this other shit. Man, fuck all that. Now it's about self-preservation for anybody that's gonna make it out of here. That's the name of the game, baby. Self-preservation. You do what you got to do to get the hell on. Watch this, verse 9. And I say unto you, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. In this context, self-preservation. You better formulate this contingency plan according to what I'm teaching you all in this lesson tonight. That when ye, Esau, Edom, fell, or are no longer custodians over the Israelites, they, the Israelites, may receive you into everlasting habitations. And that's Luke chapter 16, verses 1 through 9. Ain't nothing racist about that. What's racist is the majority of the Hebrew Israelites that are teaching this knowledge and everything, talking about how they gonna, get y'all's asses because of what y'all did to us, and they can't wait to get you into hardcore slavery and everything. Some of you white folks have heard these videos and everything. I don't teach that shit. I don't teach it, and I'm not going to, because all it is these niggas are butthurt because of what your folks did to our folks. And the niggas deserve a whole lot of that shit. And I'm going to just come out and say it, because I look at the shape that they're in right now. Here it is. This gospel is once again being preached in all the world via social media and just like with the rest of these lies and shit. And our people are in worse shape now than they've ever been. And you think the Most High is happy about that? No, he's not. So that's the reason why there's a great sifting going on among the house of Israel. And when we start getting rescued out of this hellhole, some of you Edomites and you other nations are going to cling to the house of Israel. I told y'all about that. It was either Isaiah chapter 11 or Isaiah chapter 14, verses 1 through 2. One of them two. It talks about that, how that they would cleave to the house of Jacob. Yeah, because when we was coming out of ancient Egypt, there was a mixed multitude. And you could bet your ass there was some Edomites mixed in there, some white folks. Egypt back then was like America is today, the world's superpower. All nations were there. Hell, that big ass famine that hit all over the world over there, and Egypt was the only one that had food. Why? Because Joseph was there, an Israelite, and came up with a solution and fed the whole world, just like here this present-day Egypt was doing up to about several decades ago, was like the welfare basket of the whole world. So history is repeating itself, man. But if you don't know the proper history, the way it's supposed to be taught, according to the scriptures, you're going to be confused. And when the truth come out, a lot of you are going to go into this deep state of rage and you're under this psychosis and this, that, and the other, and it causes you not to want to hear the gospel. And it's going to be to your own detriment. But yeah, man, y'all better get down with this shit. Because I'm telling you, these other Israelites mean you harm. And I'm dead serious about that shit. Let's look at Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yeshua, this gospel. Hell no, I ain't ashamed of this gospel. For it is the power of a higher unto salvation to everyone that believeth. Now watch the distinction. To the Jew or Israelites first, and also to the Greek, Esau, Edom, you white folks. That's Romans chapter 1, verse 16. So if you go on any of these other sites, I know everybody's searching for, you don't have to just come here. Go look at other videos I do. You come across any of these Israelites claiming they talking about the truth and everything, and they telling you there's no salvation for the white man, click off and keep going. What did Romans 1 and 16 say? It said to everyone that believeth. But there's a chain of command. The Israelites first, just like Hamashiach told that woman, and then to the Greeks or you white folks. That's the new order. Like it or not, we had to deal with it when we was under you. So if you want to, your plan of salvation, you're going to have to be under us. Yeah, I know that's, not something you want to hear, especially when you hear most of these militant Israelite camps talking about, raping your women and beating y'all to death and doing all that. Who the hell wants to be under some shit like that? But that ain't going to be going on with me. And I don't teach the men, the Eli's on this channel how to be like that either. So if y'all happen to be out and you run into an Eli and that nigga tell you, yeah, I was under Safar Sadek and he mistreating y'all and everything, go find you another one. And that he's a clandestine Eli, because the men in my circle, they know, because they done been taught off camera as well as on camera. They done been taught, okay? So we ain't with all that shit. What happened, happened. I ain't holding no grudges against none of that shit. I'm just trying to get from point A, where we are here now, to point B, into the wilderness where we don't have to worry about this shit no more. We're going to have other challenges to deal with, but we still got to get from here to there. You follow what I'm saying? So yes, there is a plan of salvation for some of you Edomites because you're supposed to make it. But here it is right here. The Israelites first, then you. If you got a problem with that, then keep hanging with Good Times Jesus and see how that eventually works out for you. All right, let's switch gears again. Let's look at Isaiah chapter 56, verses 6 through 7. Also, the sons of the stranger, in this context, Esau, Edom, you so-called white folks, and other nations that joined themselves, you see that joined themselves to a higher to serve him and to love the name of a higher, to be his servants as well as the Israelite servants. Why? Because the Israelites first, which means there's going to be, things are going to be switched around. Y'all were the custodians of us. Now we're going to be the custodians of all. And you have to be willing to deal with that. And trust me, if I was in your shoes, I would damn rather be in that situation than to be left here to have to deal with this situation. Fuck that. But that's on you. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I, Ahia, bring to my holy mountain, and make them joyful, not sorrowful, joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon my altar. For mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. The Israelites first, and then the rest of you all after that. But at least you were included. Unlike these other militant Israelites teach. At least you were included. The Most High said you were going to be doing this thing. You were going to be joyful. Unlike the shit that we have to deal with because of a lot of these idiots among y'all's people today and throughout the 400 years and everything. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So y'all should be very, very thankful that motherfuckers like me will at least think enough of you to go into these scriptures and properly break them down to show you that you have a chance. Because your pastors aren't telling you this. They're still talking about the rapture. Where is the rapture? Why are you still here? Okay? Oh, the third temple. Where is the third temple? Okay? When Solomon finally got the rulership, it took Solomon 56 years approximately to build that first temple over there. And Solomon had control over demons and spirits that helped him put that temple together. So why, when these fake Jews got over there in 1948, why wasn't that their priority? Because they're not the real Jews. That's why. That's why it was not their priority. And they're not going to do it now. Not with damn Hamas lighting their asses up with damn fire balloons and rockets and missiles. Then you got Syria, Hezbollah up there thumping on their ass. And then here soon, now Iran and China and Russia, ever since this situation over here in Afghanistan done kicked off, that shit about to go hot over there. Ain't nobody building no temple over there. And in case you don't know, all you got to do is look on the Temple Mount. There's a Dome of the Rock right there. A Muslim temple on the Temple Mount. Them motherfuckers can't do shit over there. Man, what's going to happen? I want y'all to think about this. What's going to happen to all these rockets and shit getting passed back and forth over there? And who's to say one of these damn Hamas or Hezbollah militants shoot one of them damn rockets into the Dome of the Rock and blow that bitch up? Man, Iran will light Israel up that same hour. Do you all see how tense this shit is? Okay? There's not going to be no third. The third temple is you. When it was talking about defiling the temple, it was talking about taking this snake oil serum. But, the majority of people ain't figured it out. That's why they going down there doing that shit. I'm fucking stupid. All right, that was Isaiah 56, 6 through 7. So even right here, it's showing that some of y'all are supposed to make it. I'm going to talk shit. I'm going to call y'all out on y'all's bullshit. Just like I do Israel, the nigga bitch, and everybody else. But I'm going to at least tell you the truth. You take it for what it's worth. Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7. Thou shalt not abhor or hate, despise an Edomite, white people, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor, hate, or despise an Egyptian. In this context, anybody that calls themselves American, because thou was a stranger in his land. That's Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7. I don't hate white people, don't have no reason to. I'm from the South. I done seen white-only signs and, dealt with racism and this, that, and the other. I just, whatever. It is what it is. I didn't let that shit, shape my reality of, the way things are supposed to be. Whatever. I didn't give a fuck. Because there's a lot more racist niggas than there are racist white people. Especially the ones that call themselves awakened to this truth and everything. And you out here talking about you going to do this and do that and everything. Yeah, okay. I got a video coming up playing after this one. And I'm going to show you why that type of thinking is going to cause a lot of Israelites, when their asses get to the wilderness, they're going to come up short big time. So be looking forward to that in my next lesson. All right, I'm about done. I thought this was going to take longer than it actually is. I'm going to go to Jasher chapter 84, and I'm going to read verses 3 through 8. Show y'all something else interesting that other Israelites are not going to tell you. And after this, Ahiah made the people, Israelites, now this is when our people had left out of Egypt and everything, and the Egyptians were destroyed, and we were making our way northward towards Israel. Now, watch what happened on our way up there. And after this, Ahiah made the people, Israelites, go round by the way of Mount Seir for a long time. At that time, Ahiah said unto Moses, provoke not a war against the children of Esau, the white folks, for I will not give to you of anything belonging to them, as much as the sole of the foot could tread upon. For I, Ahiah, have given Mount Seir for an inheritance to Esau, the white folks. Therefore did the children of Esau fight against the children of Seir in former times, and the Lord had delivered the children of Seir into the hands of the children of Esau, the white man, and destroyed them from before them, and the children of Esau dwelt in their stead unto this day. That's their inheritance. So he told the Israelite, don't go over there fucking with them, because I'm not going to give you advantage over them. Therefore, Ahiah said to the children, wait a minute, did I just read it? Yeah, verse 6. Therefore, Ahiah said to the children of Israel, fight not against the children of Esau, your brethren, for nothing in their land belongs to you. Watch this. But you may buy food of them for money and eat it, and you may buy water of them for money and drink it. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Ahiah. Damn, that's unbelievable, considering all the other instances where they was over there fucking up. You mean that was the one thing they wanted to listen to? Wow. Verse 8. And the children of Israel went about the wilderness, going round by the way of Mount Sinai for a long time, and touched not the children of Esau, the white folks, and they continued in that district for 19 years. That's Jasher chapter 84, verses 3 through 8. How many times have you heard this read in your churches? I'm going to just give you 1 second to think about that. Huh? How many other Israelite channels have you stumbled up on and heard them read this? You see what I'm saying? All right. Oh, I'm not your enemy. I'm not. I'm just going to get in your ass. I am. All right. I think this is, this is the last one. Jasher chapter 81. And I'm going to read verses 52 through 61. And when the children of Israel were in Rephidim, Amalek. Now, before I continue, Amalek, and I've talked about this in other videos, is like the grandson of Esau. Amalek is who today are your fake ass Jews over there in our land right now, predominantly. The Rothschilds and all your so-called elites, your elites, your Rockefellers, DuPonts, Kennedys, Onassis, what's the other motherfucker's name? Rothschilds and all the rest of them clowns. And the affiliates of their secret societies and mystery schools and all that. This is Amalek. These are the white people that are the enemies of you white people, and especially us, and the Most High can't stand them. And I'm going to show y'all something at the end of this, these verses right here, what the Most High said about Amalek. So a lot of times when you're hearing a lot of these other Israelites talking about what they're going to do and everything, they're really talking about Amalek, but they should make the distinction. Instead of, trying to make it sound like, it's targeting all of y'all, because that's not fair. You're not being fair to the scriptures, and you're not being fair to the people that more than likely going to be the only ones that can help your ass during the time of trouble. Niggas ain't got no resources, and if they do, they're not trying to help homeless people and people in need out here right now. No, it's Esau and the other nations. Ask me how I know, because I wake up to this reality every day. I know who's out here doing what, and the Most High is out here with me, and so are his angels. We know notes are being taken. We know what's going on. We know who's doing what, and we know who ain't doing. Okay? So, say what you want to say. All right. Amalek, the son of Eliphaz, the son of Esau, the brother of Zepho, came to fight with Israel. And he brought with him 801,000 men, magicians, and conjurers, and he prepared for battle with Israel and Rephidim. Yeah, that sounds like Amalek, you so-called elites, always into this damn dark black magic and all this other shit. Y'all thought that was something they just started? They've been doing this. This is their history, man. They've been doing this shit. There's another white dude on YouTube. He calls himself A Call for an Uprising. This white boy does an excellent job at pointing out a lot of this damn secret society shit and everything. I've been subscribed to this dude for years. Okay? I'm subscribed to a lot of white people on YouTube putting out information and everything. Yeah, and so am my inner circle. So this thing ain't what you all may think it is just because we talk hard and come the way we do it and everything. That's because you don't really understand the transition and the shift of what's going on. And you damn sure don't really have the proper understanding of these scriptures, largely in part thanks to European white supremacists, Catholicism, and Christianity. That's always been your number one enemy, as well as ours. All right, verse 54. And they carried on a great and severe battle against Israel. And the Lord delivered Amalek and his people into the hands of Moses and the children of Israel, and into the hand of Joshua, the son of Nun, the Ephrathite, the servant of Moses. And the children of Israel smote Amalek and his people at the edge of the sword. But the battle was very sore upon the children of Israel. There were heavy casualties on both sides, just like there's going to be heavy casualties here in this country when Amalek cut loose on Israel. Verse 56. And the Lord said to Moses, write this thing as a memorial for thee in a book, and place it in the hand of Joshua, the son of Nun, thy servant, and thou shalt command the children of Israel, saying, when thou shalt come to the land of Canaan, thou shalt utterly efface the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moses did so, and he took the book and wrote upon it these words, saying, remember what Amalek has done to thee in the road when thou wentest forth from Egypt, who met thee in the road and smote thy rear, even those that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary. Therefore it shall be, when Ahiah the power shall have given thee rest from all thine enemies round about in the land, which Ahiah the power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. And the king who shall have pity on Amalek, or upon his memory, or upon his seed, behold, I will require it of him, and I will cut him off from amongst his people. That's Jasher chapter 81, verses 52 through 61. And guess what the first king of Israel did? Saul's dumb ass had mercy on Amalek. And that's the reason why we have to deal with Amalek today. So all you white people that make these comments or statements, I don't want to worship your vengeful, merciless God, that crazy shit I done heard a lot of white people saying over the years and everything. Well, guess what? If our people had been obedient to our vengeful, merciless God, as you so eloquently put it, then you wouldn't be dealing with Amalek today, and you wouldn't be out here protesting against vaccines and all this other shit and all these other draconian laws and everything. So just because you look like them don't mean you are them, because Esau had several sons that had several sons. You're not of the bloodline of Amalek. They don't mingle in with you all. They consider y'all asses peasants, just like us. That's the reason why they're vaccinating the shit out of everybody to get rid of y'all, because they don't give a fuck about y'all either. Y'all might as well be us. They don't give a damn about y'all. They only use y'all because y'all look like us or look like them to mutually destroy us. That's what that was all about. So you're going to have to come on over and get the real understanding and wisdom and knowledge. You better write this lesson down in a book, line upon line, precept upon precept, exactly how it was presented on the screen. Go back and find out where in Luke, that one verse, those verses that I showed you, write that down, put all this stuff in there. That way when you're out and about and you happen to run into some Israelites that say they, are in the truth and everything, show that to them. That could save your life. You follow what I'm saying? And if they decide they want to attack you or do harm to you or whatever, the Most High gonna get their asses. And I pray that he get them too. I pray he light they motherfucking asses up for doing that shit. Because it's about the word. It ain't about what happened to us over 400 years, which was well deserved, because niggas won't get right, can't get right. Matter of fact, let me do a quick historical recap. for those of you that aren't, very astute to Israelite history in the context that it need to be in, let's see. This all started when our dumbasses was in ancient Egypt back in the day. Okay, we get out of there only to, go through all these wars, fighting all these other heathens and everything, but we're told not to fuck with y'all. Eventually, we get over into the land, okay? Saul disobeyed the Most High and allowed Amalek to live, dumbass. So then David took his place. David was fucking up, messing with these women, had one of his valiant soldiers killed so he could take his wife. And then his retarded ass son, Solomon, who was supposed to be the wisest man of all, in his old age, let his dick get him in trouble, fucking around with all these chicken heads. And then that's what split the kingdom in half. You had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in the southern kingdom, and the other 10 tribes in the northern kingdom. Well, the tribe of Dan, after that, decided they wanted to test the Most High. He got rid of their asses instantly. After that, the northern 10 tribes decided they wanted to test the Most High. He had King Solomon's come over there and snatch their asses up out of that whole area up there and take them over into present day Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, and parts of Iraq, and took the people that were there and put them over there in their place. And that's when it became known as Samaria. Well, sometime after that, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi didn't want to keep the land silent for 70 years. Most High got sick of that shit, had the king of Babylon to come over there and snatch their ass up, take them to Babylon for 70 years so the land could rest. They get back over there, then the Medes and the Persians got in control. They had to deal with Cyrus and Darius for a time, okay? By then, the second temple had done been built. Next thing you know, Alexander the Greek gets over in that area. And then after him, the so-called Seleucians pounced on Israel's ass, especially during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes. Boy, he really put it on our asses. Then after that, the Romans finally get in control. Then Hamashiach comes on the scene. Our people weren't satisfied with that. They had him crucified. 40 years after that, the Romans finally tore that second temple down and ran their asses all out of there up in the west coast of Africa and other places, up until the time where the British Empire finally raised its head up, went over there and started snatching niggas up and bringing them over here and populating this hemisphere. And then the United States put the icing on the cake. So as you can see, Israel is hard-headed, man. Historically hard-headed. I'm not being nice when I come on here and do it. Fuck that. I'm not being nice with these Negroes because they damn hard-headed. So that's why I come at them the way I do. And if y'all offended by it, then put cotton in your ears. But you ain't going to hear what you need to hear. I don't give a shit. All right? I've said all I need to say in this video. Be ready for the next one.